Alexandria, Egypt, Saturday, 4 July 2009. In daylight, the last thing the old man would have seen was the nicotine stain of the North African coast on the horizon. But death came for him in the night, and he saw nothing except perhaps blackness and stars as he relieved himself through the ship's railing. When the ferry berthed in the port of Alexandria the next morning, his body lay sprawled on the wooden deck, neck twisted unnaturally, pants undone, shirt untucked. Dust and sand swirled up from the sunburned coast, signaling the direction of land far out to sea. The Khamsin, named after the Arabic word for 50s because it was said to come 50 days a year, was common between March and July. Tropical air moved up from the Sudan, creating cyclones, sandblasting crops, and coating cities in grit along the North African desert belt. Aubrey Bairstow surveyed the deck. His gaze settled on the corpse, and he exhaled noisily. "Right. Let's get this bloody thing over with." The Egyptian police officer a few meters away threw him an inquiring glance, as if to say he hadn't quite caught the young diplomat's mutterings. Sweat plastered Bairstow's blond hair to his fleshy temples, and damp rings spread in the armpits of his rather too tight but otherwise fashionable suit. This would mean paperwork. Lots of it. Quite possibly it would also mean canceling the remainder of his leave. Bugger and shit! Shit, shit, shit! The thought made him even more irritable than usual. A moment passed before he broke the silence again, this time to address the police officer. "Was anything taken?" The man shrugged, uncomprehending, squinting in the bleached light. "English," he said unhelpfully, pointing at the corpse. "Well, of course he is, or I wouldn't bloody be here," Bairstow said, cheeks flushed. Roused at dawn by a call from the deputy ambassador in Cairo, his day went downhill from there. An elderly British tourist had been found dead on board a ferry from Haifa, Israel. He was to take care of the consular arrangements. It shouldn't take long. In and out, the deputy said. Shit rolls downhill. A uniformed policeman collected him at his hotel 20 minutes later, and they drove to the port. Diplomatic life was proving to have none of the glamour he dreamed of during his last term at Oxford. This was just the sort of business he hadn't imagined, yet call-outs like this one were all too common. If it wasn't an accidental death, it was an arrest for disorderly behavior or a lost or stolen passport. He would make damned sure his room bill and train ticket went directly to the embassy, now that his weekend away from the hustle and bustle of the Egyptian capital was completely ruined. A pale band of untanned skin peeked from below the frayed cuff of the dead man's shirt. Bairstow guessed a watch had recently been present. He eyed the policeman. Perhaps he was jumping to conclusions, but what else would you expect of a provincial cop on 20 quid a month? For many Egyptian men, a uniform simply served as license to profit. No point in making a scene about it now, old boy. Thieving bastards, he muttered. The cop looked over again and smiled. Bairstow pulled a pack of cigarettes from his jacket and tapped one loose as he stepped to the ship's railing. He flicked his lighter and drew in the smoke with a gulp of tangy salt air. On the larger deck below, a waiter flitted between couples lounging on wooden chairs around a plunge pool, and pampered children squabbled over a candy-striped life-preserver. A man wearing the garb of a Roman Catholic priest sucked on a pipe at one end of a dozen tables. All seemed oblivious to the body above. "They will be allowed to disembark shortly, inshallah, God willing." Bairstow flinched, startled by the voice. An unshaven detective in a black suit joined him at the railing. "The coroner thinks a heart attack. Halas, finished." He brushed his hands together as if wiping dust from his palms, an expression and gesture that, to an Arabic speaker, meant the matter was decided.